important. Then we have got Bangladesh. Again, a large number of bases that Indian insurgents had in Bangladesh probably have gone down after in last about year and a half. I must say that the present government was able to take various steps by which the normalization of relations, improvement of relations with Bangladesh have completely wiped out the insurgent bases in Bangladesh. Even one of the most important persons who was in this thing, Anup Chetia, had been returned by them. A large number of other people have been handed over to India by them. Similarly, in Myanmar, when we had a problem, and when I think in one of the attacks, one of the groups attacked us, making from their bases in Myanmar, and they came inside the Indian territory and killed 18 of our soldiers. And we were compelled to take some counteraction. But it did not sour our relations with Myanmar. Actually, I had the occasion after that to go to Myanmar, meet the president and meet the other people there. Then their army chief came here. And they, to an extent, they were extremely helpful, and they are fully cooperating with us now. To the extent that that group has been banned by them. They are not taking any action, that group, and they are on the contrary. While earlier they were able to get shelter, now they had been saying that they have handed over some of their insurgent commanders to India, and we are not having any problem from Myanmar. We have got full cooperation with them. We have got full cooperation from Bangladesh, and that is one of the reasons why the insurgency or the militancy in the northeast is going to come down. So Bangladesh is important, but not only for this, also because it is a hotbed of a large number of radical Islamic groups which had been operating there for quite some time. The present government has done a lot to contain them, but still we have got organizations like Harkatul Jihad-e-Islami, remnants of Harkatul Ansar, some of the Rohingyas, some of the other groups which are connected with Lashkar-e-Taiba, and they are not only a source of trouble to the present Bangladesh government, but also that they have got inroads and the connectivity by which they had been operating from our side. And as you might be aware that in Bardhaman, we had this thing that there were factories from where a lot of bombs were being made, possibly for use in India, but also for being sent to Bangladesh. We were able to take a very, very deterrent action against them. And with the little initial reluctance, we found that everybody later joined hands together, including the local police and others, and helped in completely finishing those bases. We got tremendous help in that. Then you must have heard about the counterfeiting of the currency. The lot of illegal counterfeit foreign currency, counterfeit Indian currency coming to India from foreign countries. And Bangladesh is one of the very important routes. Even in last 1 year, the Bangladesh government had taken initiative in which crores of rupees have been illicit Indian currency has been seized by them. So it is important for us. It's also a hotbed of some unfriendly intelligence agencies who make it as a base for operating against India. We have got problem of illegal immigration. We have got also a problem of smuggling of cattle and others. So there are a series of security-related problems, and it has got a long border of about 1,600 kilometers with India, which needs to be guarded, and it is not a very straight border. And earlier we did not even have a settled border. It is it's now a credit to the present government that the border for the first time has been settled. Now it is fully demarcated. Now we are getting the barbed wire and security measures taken up because now it is a fully demarcated border. With Myanmar also, we have got almost the border has been demarcated. There are very small areas which are left. We do hope that within the next 1 year or 2 years, we'll be able to sort it out, and thereafter, this border will also become much more secure. So these are all important areas by which adds to the strategic value of this thing, and it is not a peripheral area. It is not an area which is of no significance. It is an area of great vulnerabilities, It's also an area of a great national security importance. It's also an area of a great interrelationship in our neighborhood, with whom we have got intertwined relationships, which are both positive and negative. And if we are not able to develop this area, if we are not able to make best use of this area and the potential which is available there, probably it will be to a great disadvantage to India. It is not only the security part of it, but it's also a land of great opportunities. As I said, it has got a huge area, about 2.6 lakh square kilometers, with a very low density of population. It has got the country's largest forest cover. About 66% of the area is forest cover. It has got huge mineral wealth. People probably are not aware that there are proven reserve of the hydrocarbons in some of the states of Northeast. Probably we have not been able to utilize them. Because of the underdevelopment of the area, little unstable security conditions, some of the problems of connectivity, but that potential is there. It has got some of the best soils for some of the produce, for horticulture, for floriculture, for the orchids. And recently in Sikkim, the Prime Minister inaugurated the organic farming, this thing. It's a wonderful area for which it has been done. Probably Indian businessmen and this thing are least informed about the great opportunities that it provides. Our entrepreneurs go and visit far-off places in Africa and others to find out. This is an area which, if with better connectivity, now that the huge network of the roads have been made, probably more roads this thing are going to be made, that there are ample opportunities for us to develop. And people also have got a little wrong perception about the people. As I said, that it is felt that, well, they are ethnically differentiated people with certain violence and insurgencies who are anti-India. The people of Northeast are some of the most intelligent, hardworking, fast to adapt, very fast learners with high personal and social values. Much more than the rest of India has got. The womanhood is respected there much more than in any other part of the country. There's the compassion, care, and sensitivity to the people who are weaker than you. It's a society which has got much more sense of equality. It has got a very rich history and culture. The stories of its valor and its creativity are probably too unknown, because in the mainstream of the national history, we probably do not take into factor in the various other strands which have been existing there. How many of us know that the Mughal armies were defeated 16 times by their home kings? The march during the period of Shah Jahan and Aurangzeb was stopped only by the Ahom kings and the famous general of that time, Lachit Barphukan, and a series of the other districts. They were the bravest people who were able to contain them. No other place in India, when the march started and others, that they were able to be contained so effectively. Recently in Kargil war, the most critical role in the Tiger Hill was played by the Naga regiments. You may be thinking only about some Naga insurgencies and some Naga. It was there, and probably we'll find a solution to that. I think I'll come to that part also. They proved they got 1 Mahavir Chakra and 4 Veer Chakras. They saved the Tiger Hills. When in the left-wing extremist area, the police forces which became most effective were the Naga armed battalions. They are the people who have got a great potential. They are very good in articulation. The power of articulation is very good. They learn very fast. The women are much more confident, and the girls and the boys, they are pushing. They want an upward mobility. Given half the opportunities, they will do doubly better than most of the other people who got the opportunity. They start with certain disadvantages. The area did not have connectivity. The area did not have schools and colleges. Area did not have hospitals and roads. The areas did not. They were the late starters in development. But wherever they have been given an opportunity, I think one of our colleagues who was an IPS officer who was posted to Karnataka, he was such an effective police officer that when he was the police commissioner of Bangalore, after that when he retired, the people wanted him to contest the election. And he contested the election and was elected as a member of parliament. He was a Mizo boy. They had done outstanding service. See the sportsmen coming from there. See whether it's in boxing or it is in football or it is in this, the high potential. So we have underrated the people of Northeast. We have considered that probably they do not have the potential. Probably they are something which is very peripheral. They are not. The way that they are progressing, probably we may see in next 10 years that it becomes the country's most fast-moving area. As it is, the average growth rate of Northeast in last 10 years has been over 15.6%. If the Southeast Asian route opens up, if the industry, agriculture, floriculture, horticulture, etc., it develops, if there is a proper utilization of the funds which the government of India is putting over there, in case the social organizations like Vivekananda, KENDRA do something there to improve the human quality, invest in human resources, provide them the direction, try to bring them to the national mainstream, try to bridge the gap. Not only telling people of Northeast about India, but also India about the Northeast. We probably will be doing a great national service. You know, there is one unfortunate part, that the people of Northeast, particularly the people in the tribal areas, who are living in very small geographical areas about, say, few decades back, the tribal people do not move very much, but within the own tribal area of, say, 400 square kilometers or 1000 square kilometers or 200 square kilometers, depending upon how big the tribe is, they remain confined to that. So their interface with the outsiders was very, very unpleasant. Who did they meet? They met only three types of people. Either it was a soldier with a gun, or it was a small-time Marwadi who had opened a shop and would sell them the things at 4 times the prices. Because you'll buy something in Calcutta or some other place and bring it here in those days. It was very tiresome place. They have done a great service. I'm not undermining the service, but I'm talking it from the point of view of tribal, who doesn't understand the value and things like that. You can tell him at any price and he will buy it if he needs it. He didn't have medicines, he didn't have food, he didn't have this thing. He was just living in the jungle area. And the immigrant who looked at his fertile land as something that he can make a fortune. And these people do not know how to do the agriculture. They were just zooming, they were just burning the jungle, sowing some seeds and then moving away from there. So the outside world, his first thing to the outside world was little hostile. The only people who probably he thought, without understanding their larger motives than others, was the missionaries who came there, who gave them some sort of this thing, other than that. And that's how they were able to entrench, and they did some service. But then, you know, like in the British days, either the armies followed the priest or the priest followed the armies. It was a combination that the columns used to march from Silchar to Mandle, and then they used to come back once a year, and after this thing were there, the priest used to go and then mix up with the people in the jungles and the tribes and others. So these were the only 4 categories of the people that they had an interface. Where have we shown the better part of India, the better face of India, your faces? People who want to serve, people who want to contribute, people who want to own them, give them a sense of belonging. It is really this thing that, well, how much they want to get integrated with India, how much they want to be in the national mainstream, and when they come to places like Bangalore or Delhi or other places, and how much they feel discriminated, how much they feel isolated, how much they feel neglected, how much they feel that the people do not think them as equals and as the same. When something happens, they can't understand when some of the females are behaved and treated in a way which in their society is unknown to them. They can never think of it. Even when people lie to them, they don't know what it is, because people don't lie to each other. Their social values are very high. The social intelligence is extremely high. They are very open people. They are very innocent people. Probably we have to learn much more, and probably it will take us many years to reach where they have reached. So it's a land. It's a land of a great this thing. It's a people who have got a great this thing. It's an area where there are great opportunities, and it is sad, and it's a huge area. And it is sad that the people of India who will go to Thailand or who will go to various other parts of the world and things like that for tourism. But how many of us have really gone to tourism to Northeast and try to care what it is? Maybe that there may not be such tourist facilities now, but nothing can beat the natural beauty. Whether it's the wildlife, or it's the orchids, or the forests, or it's the waterfalls. There's a tremendous beauty, or the snow-clad hills of Arunachal Pradesh and others. There's a great distinct there. If you all put together, probably this area can really become not only a part of India, but something that the India can really be very proud of. Let me also tell you one thing, that there is a misperception about the security situation in Northeast. Yes, there was at one time when certain areas and the pockets got into serious problems, but as the situation stands today, 2015 was an year of almost near peace in most of the part of Northeast. We had two bad incidents. One was by the Khaplang group, that is the NSC and Khaplang group in Nagaland, where they killed some of our soldiers. They did one, but that was the last one. After that, in their camps, they lost a very large number. NDFB was the another one which did it in Assam. But they did one big incident, and that was the last. We hope that it will be contained. Tripura is totally free of insurgency. Mizoram is totally out of it. Arunachal is totally peaceful. There are some localized groups, boys, who will get a couple of AK-47s for collection of money, maybe in Meghalaya or this thing. It is there. And wherever peace is possible, the oldest group, the mother of insurgencies, the NSCN Movia group, the NSCN IM as it is called, Government of India, which had been trying for a peace accord with it from the early 60s. Shillong Accord and all these accords, finally were able to sign a framework agreement of peace with them, and there is no violence in Nagaland. So we do hope that it will be brought under control. So security situation is not all that bad. Actually, for a common man, you are much more secure. You won't even know. Maybe that somewhere some extortion takes place or something takes place. Manipur is an area which still has got a certain problem. We do hope that we'll be able to get over it. But there are various other things what is responsible for Manipur. The help that they were able to get from the neighboring countries, that is also getting more and more difficult. Connectivity, economic prosperity, more of education, more of employment opportunities, more integration with the rest of the country, probably will work as supporting factors that will improve the security situation. But if you see the average rest of life, nobody is afraid. Anybody can walk in any part of Northeast, maybe day in and day out, old man or a young girl or anybody. Probably he won't feel that, well, there is a great this thing of insecurity for them. So let us tell the people, you will be doing a great service in case you can go around, take the message, make the people of Northeast feel that we are interested in them. So call a group of, say, 100 boys and girls from Northeast, show them around Bombay, keep them in your houses as your guests, treat them so well. That is, they go with the happy memories. We get the groups from France. We are getting the groups from various things that the youth group, they come, live with the Indian families and go back. How much have we tried to get them back? And you'll find that you'll get a great response. And they're very good friends. They will remain listening to you, beholden to you, and thankful to you for all their lives. So, and I think if the business, trade, tourism, these things go, there is a very great potential for all of us. Now, there are many things when I think when you question answers, we have interactions and others that what should be done and good ideas will come. I welcome you for that. But the one core question comes that at this point of history, what has happened in the past is over. Probably something has been done. Actually, one of the reasons why this whole problem came up was also something which was beyond our control. Earlier, these areas were working very, very in a secluded environment, and they were connected in their own local way. So the people of Mizoram were connected with Chin Hills of Myanmar in a big way, trade, marriage, everything. But then they were this thing of it. People of Tripura were this thing of the Bangladesh. Is this thing. After that, after independence and the international border, and they got regulated. Once they got regulated, we tried to bring about what we think is the best model of the administration and governance that the British had given us. The districts, this thing. So we try to form everything in the prototype of what is in Kanpur and what is in Nashik. That's the district magistrate, the superintendent of police, whatever they call the Patwari system. And we try to superimpose that, thinking that this is the best model of governance. I don't think it's the best model even for the mainland. Probably it should have been rethought. But it certainly was not the best model for the tribal areas. We could have thought of some other innovative contraption, some innovative mechanism in which they were not completely subject